Jake, seems a good time to sort of sit down with you and go through the start of this year so far. Let's roll right back to Boxing Day and go chronological. How have you been finding things and the team's performances?
Been finding things quite challenging on a personal level. First real job, but really enjoying it. Breaking down the games. I knew where we were going to that Boxing Day game. Matt had a plan of incremental changes and improvements, and we've seen that. So the Boxing Day game wasn't a real showing of what we're about, but I think we're slowly getting there, improving every week. Performances are getting better, results have been great. But in saying that, we've always got room for improvement, which we are seeing week in, week out.
And just picking up on a few of those games, the Dewsbury game quite stands out as quite a pleasing performance.
Yeah, it does. They replaced us in championship. And to put a performance in, so early on in the season was great for the confidence of the boys. Was confidence of the club, showing the fans and everyone involved that we are heading in the right direction. So we've just got to put all the pieces together when it counts.
And to hold Bradford to just 8 points as well was quite special, wasn't it? Quite unexpected in a way, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. With the squad they've got, the investment they've had, the quality of players that they've recruited. Credit to our boys. Derby games are really up in the air. Who turns up on the day. I've been involved in a lot of them, and the unexpected always happens. But it was credit to the boys. They dug in. I think a few calls go 50-50 the wrong way. They go the right way, it changes the result. But it was one of those things, and the boys have learnt from that, and we're building onto the bigger and better things this year.
Yeah, the league season's kicked off now, hasn't it? So we've had Cornwall, Workington and Hunslet. Arguably some good competition in there, very much so. We'll play them all again down the line. How's the league season start been for you in your eyes?
In my eyes, the results have been what we wanted. The performances are getting better. Once the ground's firm up, I believe our team will excel a bit more. But I'm not taking anything away from them. They've dealt with what's been in front of them, and they've dealt with it quite convincingly. So we've still got work to do in the training field. Everyone knows that. Matt's got them working hard, implementing what he wants, and the boys are starting to buy into it. Well, they have bought into it. So now it's time to put all that into the show on the field, and be consistent with it, and make sure that we get the performances that we require, and that I think the boys expect.
And it's a long old season, isn't it? We're kind of up and running with the odd week off here and there, but this is pretty much it now until September, October time.
Yeah, correct. So it's going to be very, very important that we manage the boys. The squad depth is something that I'm keeping a close eye on. We're bringing a new recruit in, or we've brought a new recruit in, which will be great in Mitch Ravel. He's got experience back home in Australia in the Queensland Cup, very physical competition. Spent some time in France in the Elite One, and he fell on our radar probably a couple of months ago. And I've been working pretty close with him to try and get him over here, and I'm very happy to say that he's here.
It's quite rare that you're able to find an Aussie who's been playing in France with an English passport, so a bit of a blessing, that one.
Yeah, it was. He jumped on my, as I said, he jumped on my radar a few months ago. I really liked what I saw. Showed him to coach, and we were on the same page with that. So the deal got done quite easily. He likes what we're doing here. He likes what we're about, and and the same goes the other way. We like what he's about and what he can bring to the team.
Mitch arrives mid-April, doesn't he? So
yeah.
Time to get settled in.
Yeah, definitely. It's. As you said, it's a long old year. He's only missed a few games, but he's been playing consistently over in France. So it's going to be a pretty quick transition for him. As there's no jet lag involved in that.
And are we squad depth something that you touched on there? It's kind of no secret that we probably need a little bit more of that if we want to compete at the top of League One this year. Is there anyone else you're looking at? Can you say anything about that yet?
Well, there's irons in the fire. There's always irons in the fire. I think you go to any team and they've, we're in constant contact with players, agents, other teams. So we're no different. We definitely have a few names on the sheet that we're looking at. But our squad is very, very lucky at the moment. We've got very minimal injuries. We touch wood. So we keep it that way. But as we've touched on a couple of times, it's a long year. We're going to have to manage squad rotation. We're going to have to manage the impact of the boys at training, and we're going to have to rest a few at some points. We've got a few really, really big games coming up in the summertime that we need to be at full strength for. And if we're not, we need to have really good cover for those players not available. So that's something that's constantly on my mind. Constantly on the phone, and it's something that I definitely do not want to let slip.
And just touching on Lynham, Bailey, Dean and Downey, they're out for some game time at various different places. What's your thought process, and how do you talk to the boys about that? Because they've not featured in every game. They've featured a little bit in some of the friendlies, but is that an easy conversation to have with those boys?
With some, yes. I think Lynham and Bales understand. They're off back to NCL, West Bowling. Lynham, I think, played more there last year than he did with us, and he still came with a smile on his face, so he knows what it's about. The younger boys, a little bit more difficult. They're up and coming, they're hungry. Not saying the other boys aren't, but to go back to Huddersfield, where they came from, was probably a little bit more comfort for them. But just explain to them, go back, get what you need out of the game. We need you to keep match fit. So as long as they understand that, and that it's for the greater good, the bigger cause, then they'll feature at some point this year. I have no doubt. Ben Dean, he's impressed me beyond belief. With his maturity and his skill set. That he's learnt over at Huddersfield in his early years of rugby league, and to come here and to show up the way he did, there's nothing but big things for his future, and hopefully we're a part of that. Cody Downey's still raw, just needs game time. He's a big thing. He's fast. He's wanting to learn every day. So the longer they sit on the sideline not playing, the less development I believe that they get. So it's very important that we do get these boys and men some game time during the year, whether it be with us or with someone else, but as long as they do know that they still are our players and they still will feature. It's about miles in the legs, isn't it, really? Yeah, miles in the legs, opens the lungs up, getting used to the physicality. I know when I don't play, it takes you a little bit to get back in, just to the contact, the pace of the game. So it is very important, and you'll see in the years been and the years to come that it's an integral part to everyone's development and to the team's development. And we're heading over to that game out on Friday, the reserves game with Ben Dean and Cody Downey in there, just to show a bit of support and keep your eye on them and see how they're going. Just see how they're going. I've watched closely their development in the pre-season and the off-season, and now to see it in a game, is something that we've got to keep an eye on. They're our players, so we want to make sure that they know we're there to support them and are there to be there if they need anything. So it's going to be an important part of the year that we do keep supporting these boys when they do go out and make sure that they know they're still part of us. And what does from now look like for you then? From now looks like for me, just keep developing the squad. Have my little input where I need to. I really enjoy watching the boys out on the training field. I get my hands dirty when I can. I've got a lot of knowledge on-field stuff, on how the game's perceived and played. So I'd be silly not to be involved in that way to some capacity, and Matt's given me the platform to do that. So I do enjoy getting down there and spreading a bit of wisdom, as much or little as I can for them, and just to see them grow. That's my number one goal for this year. We've got a purpose and a goal as a club and as a team, and to succeed that, I'll do anything that I need to.
Thank you.